the second wisdom will recall its targeted self-worth and to lower it in the moment of human experience with another person, because that shit's emotional. So it's the emotional content in the now it targets by targeting what the subconscious recalls from the past in terms of emotional identification in the now, which is its job, kind of like a search engine that's alive and takes commands from the intent of human will. Anyway, so from unresolved pain, it remembers from the rejection part where we felt rejected is as the result of self-expression, as the result of that emotional content being birthed in us and in our innocence expressed naturally in perfect words of description, exactly how the inspiration made us feel in whatever we were describing in our innocence. But then we're rejected for that, and that kills us inside. That hurts us so terribly in early childhood, ages 0 to 5. After that, you're molded and shaped to believe in what the rejection model of being parented taught the emotional content of self, emotional programming. So in thought now, after 6 years old, after 5 years old, the complete year of 5, I'm pretty sure it develops itself in about 6, entering into the point of no fucking return unless you deal with certain things later on in life, like I did. But if you don't, you remain that spiritual death all your life, always giving in, always submitting, always to fear. Nothing. You might be a warrior on the outside, but your submission is to interfering because you don't know how to express yourself. When in fact, ask any psychiatrist, we need to express ourselves in order to find that emotional completion in the now, as the emotional response is birthed in the now. In the right now as the result of new experience, but in the now of new experience, the second wisdom takes us back to the past, brings forth into our heart's thoughts, mixing now with the current emotional experience, the memory of feeling rejected. So right then and there, we get that image of the fear of loss, and that's its communication. We have silence with the Mother God, but the dark feminine's communication is image in the fear of loss in what we remember from the past. But the ego comes in and starts speaking, that then develops more images from fearing, which is the spiritual pedophilia part. Okay, I got it now. Fear is there as the dark feminine at the ready to always react specifically in specific ways, taking orders from the subconscious and what it derives in terms of emotional memory that is brought into the now, because that's the natural part of ourselves. We look back in the past to bring into the now a more evolved self and more evolved uniqueness of self. And in our friendships, we know what that means, but when we talk to each other out in the street, we're terrified, right? That's what I mean. And after that, you start thinking, well, this is your ego, by the way. Well, if I go approach that person the same way I approach my best friend who I trust, then I'm going to get rejected. See, that's the ego developing images of something that never happened that feels real, you see? That's spiritual pedophilia. That's what I mean by spiritual pedophilia. There's no difference in that than what a physical pedophile does to a child in terms of implanting specific fear of loss. And now the child is removing his own fucking underwear. Trust me, I know this. I had 3 of them when I was a child. They all did the same thing. None of them knew each other, but they all did the same thing. The spiritual pedophilia is the infection, is what maintains the infection. That ego speaks to itself. Well, if I go approach that person the way I do my friend, or in whatever circumstance, right? Whatever circumstance of love that you want to express to somebody, and openness, and the person, your true being, in other words. Everybody has a true being of goodness. We're born with it because we were born with the seed, and that was first. So we're natural with it. If the other fucking wisdom was first, we'd be natural with that. But no, we're born with the first wisdom because the seed was stolen for us to do so. which was a decision made out of desperation and nothing else, because none of his fucking breath worked to make Adam rise, Adam and Eve rise, his feminine element. Eve was never. Adam and Eve is the algorithm, man. Fucking trust me when I tell you that.